Well, so I was right in the middle of tearing this old Briggs & Stratton Quantum motor apart when I got a phone call. I have an ad up on Craigslist right now. Any mowers or lawn equipment people don't want. And so I took them up on it. And this is what I came back with. We'll get to the mower in a minute. But he was kind enough to include some spare parts. I don't even think these were for this mower. But they're both the same wheel. In fact, they look awfully similar to those. He also included another blade, which still appears to be in pretty good shape. Might need to be sharpened, if anything. I don't know if it's out of balance or not. He also gave me a small yellow bag here full of parts. Now, I don't think this guy really knew what he was doing. We'll get to that in a bit with the mower. But these all appear to be weed eater parts. Some sort of diaphragm, maybe? And here's the primer bulb. Got a couple odds and ends in there. That looks like a handle for a weed eater. And he thought these were for the lawnmower. So, I don't know what was up with that. But let's have a look at the mower. Now, he did say it runs. Compression's good. At least it feels like it has good compression. The only problem is it leaks gas. Out of where I don't know. There is some gas in it. Definitely needs a new primer bulb. I've got a new one of those. No big deal there. Looks like it's got a newer spark plug on it. Overhead valve, that's nice and efficient. But it's a 6.5 horsepower Intech motor, 22-inch cut, and it's front-wheel drive, which interestingly enough, this is the same exact thing that I have on mine. It doesn't stay forward either. In fact, all the throttle controls are pretty much the same, interestingly enough, as this one. The guy told me that it was leaking gas. It doesn't appear that it's leaking out of any of the lines or anything. The one going to the carb is dry. You guys can't really see it, but the one from the tank to the carb is dry. But there's kind of some leaking around here at this seam. And then over here, I don't know if this guy tried to fix this or what, but it looks like he tried to melt the plastic a little bit or something to alleviate that. So that looks like it was leaking there at some point. The dipstick tube isn't fully in there, so I'll have to deal with that, of course, as well. But overall, it looks like a pretty decent little mower. It'll make a great mower for out here. Now, I already do have some spare parts lined up for it. Got a new primer bulb. And I also have a used but good gas tank from that mower. And just about everything from this mower and that motor looks like it'll work on this just fine. I think there's a new air filter in that one too. I don't know what this one looks like. Also, I went ahead and just put that new primer bulb in. Pretty easy. Took this thing off. Air filter looks okay. Good enough for out here anyways. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this part off. Set it aside. So the next thing I have to do is just pull the gas tank off. That'll be easy enough. It's really nice. Briggs motors, they seem like most of the bolts that they're held together with are all the same 8mm. And we got one more bolt left down there, which is unfortunately a 10mm, it looks like. And that piece is out of the way. Shove it over there. Pull our old bolts out of the gas tank. And this is going to be the tricky part. Oh man, this thing is leaking bad. So now I'm just going to pull the tank off. It's probably going to leak a little bit of fuel, but that's okay. And it did leak a little bit. So now the new tank is put on. Everything's back in place. You can see with the old one, it's definitely leaking. I don't know where exactly it's leaking from. I haven't really looked into it. But that gas is actually new, so I might salvage that gas. nice and clean. So I have the bottom part of the tank hooked up. Need to bring this hose clamp forward. There we go. So let's see what else I have to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull the carburetor off and just give it a good once over, a good cleaning if it needs it. I don't think there's going to be much of a problem with it actually, but it's good to pull it off. Very weird looking gasket there. Actually doesn't look too bad. I'm going to have to get a bigger socket for the bowl though. So now, I'm just going to open up the bowl and see the condition of the gas inside. See what the inside of the bowl looks like. Sorry about the dogs, by the way. Just going to set my ratchet aside. Got some black Gunji shit in there. It's actually a lot cleaner than I thought it would be. Just a little bit of corrosion on that wash plug, but that's no big deal. So I'll go ahead and get my wire, run it through the jets, clean that out a little bit with some carb spray, clean this out with some carb spray, but everything else doesn't look too bad. So I just gave the carburetor a nice thorough cleaning. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the gasket back on. So I just dumped all that gas into this tank. There wasn't any water in it. I did have a good look in it. I might have to adjust the linkage here on the carburetor. Doesn't appear that it wants to cooperate with the throttle very much, but it's locked in the start position. Maybe when I get it started, it'll change its tune a little bit. But let's go ahead and put it on the ground. See if she'll give us a start. Let's go ahead and prime it up. Start. Let's do another test mo so you guys can see it moving. So all in all, it's not a bad little mower, that's for sure. $5 mower, fixed with about $5 in parts. I even got to reuse the old gas. Not bad, guys, not bad. So all I have left to do now is just put the air cleaner back on. And I don't know what else there is to do to it other than put the bag back. But as you guys probably noticed, that pull cord needs to be changed as well. So I'll probably end up doing that at some point. I do have a couple spares on hand. What's crazy is these mowers were not cheap when they came out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and put the bag back on and put the air cleaner back on, and that'll be it here for me. So until next time, guys.